What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and y'all know sometimes before we get into my regular reviews, we get a little spicy. But I decided to do this as a standalone spicy corner because I got too much saved in my phone about Atlanta. But let's get into it so I can free up my phone. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Porsha and Shamea. So this is pretty much like a continuation of what I was talking about in my last spicy corner that I did for episode 2 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Check it out. There's a playlist and it's probably one of the most recent videos I posted on my channel. But basically in that spicy corner, I talked about how it's kind of weird that Shamea released a single, released a song, and Kelly was the only person that posted about the song. And I was like, I went to Porsha's page, there was nothing there. And I was like, something is going on with them. And I think a lot of other people started to notice as well. So Candy was doing a live, and one of the viewers asked a question about what does she think about Shamea and Porsha's relationship, seeing as Porsha hadn't posted Shamea's song. So let me play that clip for you.
I love how you support your friends. Can you give us your opinion on why Porsha hasn't supported Shamea's new song like everyone else on her page? She hasn't? You saying on her show or in her story? Did she post it in her story?
Nothing.
Okay, what I think. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. What I think is that they had some issues during the season and they really don't mess with each other like that right now, but they doing the fake. I'm messing with, like, if they're in the same room or in front of the cameras, or if or people are doing press, they're like, oh yeah, that's my girl, blah, blah, knowing they ain't messing with each other right now. So, yes.
So then post it if we faking it.
Well,
Fake it till you make it.
yeah, I guess she ain't gonna fake it that much. It's crazy being on a show together. I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong, because it's weird, because you're not supposed to give away any future dramas that's happening in the season. You are told not to give away the season, correct? You know that. So it's kind of their job to allow people to believe what they want until they see whatever falling outs or whatever happens during the season. So I don't ask them questions about what's happening there. I mean, of course, if a blind man can see that it's something happening, but you just don't want to be in the middle of it.
So that was Candy's assessment of Shamea and Porsha's relationship. And what's interesting is, like she said, even a blind man could tell that there was something going on. And she's not wrong, because I was watching another content creator, and I wish I could remember their name so I could give them credit. But I watch YouTube some days like it's TV. And so I don't remember who I was watching. But they had pointed out that if you look at the pictures that came out for the premiere party for season 16, there were no pictures of Shamea and Porsha together. It was either Shamea by herself, Porsha by herself, or they were featured with other cast members on the show. And I didn't even notice that. Like, I saw the pictures, I thought majority of everybody looked cute, and I paid it dust, but I didn't even pick up on that. What was telling to me, and like I said before I played Candy's clip, was that Shamea released her song and Porsha didn't repost it. And I was like, that's kind of telling. And the only person that did was Kelly. And then I also spoke about this in the spicy corner for episode 2, that when Shamea was on Watch What Happens Live, she was defending Porsha, but it didn't have the same passion or fire she normally has. It was very like, yeah, that's my girl, this, and this, but it wasn't like, yeah, girl, that's my girl, and you're not gonna be doing. It was very like pulled back, and I was like, what happened there? What's going on there? Okay. Well, Porsha pretty much confirmed for us that it's trouble in paradise for some people. But this was posted by the Bravo Shade Room, and it says this: Porsha Williams confirms that she and Shamea are not as close as they used to be because certain expectations on their show was not met and things turned on her without her knowing. Also, Shamea did not send her the song to repost. So let me play that clip for y'all.
Any comment on Candy saying you don't like Shamea? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if Candy said I didn't like Shamea. I think what Candy said was she doesn't believe we're as cool as we used to be. And yes, that's true. I mean, it's when you come on the show and you have certain expectations, and then things seem to turn on you, without you knowing, that can change any relationship. So, but I don't think Candy said anything like that. Y'all don't be trying to stir stuff up now, because you know how y'all do. Y'all like free tea. Y'all gotta watch the show. So why didn't I post Shamea's song? Dang, y'all, good grief. Well, she didn't send it to me to post. I guess Shamea sent it to everybody, but she didn't send it to me, so I didn't have it to post.
So I kind of want to break down what Porsha said. First up, the song. Girl, you just didn't want to post the song. The whole like she didn't send me the song that's not a good argument. I mean, some people could say it is. I don't think it is. If you wanted to support your friend, you could have did like regular people do. Go to Apple Music, because I have Apple Music. Screenshot the cover art of the single and then just post it on your Instagram being like, hey, support my friend, or go to Shamea's page, screen record. We all got that, even if you got an Android. And if you didn't want it on your Instagram, you definitely could have posted in your Insta story and it would have been gone in 24 hours and you call it a day. That's it. That's all. The other part about things turning on Porsha, I'm curious to see what that looks like to Porsha, because we've seen Porsha turn on other people. So I wonder if there was a point where Shamea voiced her opinion and it was against Porsha, or if Shamea was following Porsha or having Porsha's back and then she switched up on her. Either way, like I said, I'm curious to see. And third, the whole expectations thing. I wonder if Porsha expected Shamea to have blind loyalty, but she can't even use the card of like, well, I got you on this show, because it's been revealed by both Candy and Shamea that Candy is the reason she's on this show. And I have the clip, so let me play it.
The fans are really feeling Shamea.
That's my girl.
That's your girl, and I feel like you are responsible for her finally getting that peach.
I am. So a lot of people don't understand. I don't even want to start bragging or taking, but I can take the credit for that one. But
she kind of gave you the credit when I talked to her.
Well, that's my girl. But even like one of the people that make the decisions, they was like, thank you for continuing to push us to get Shamea, because she is great for the show. And I've been trying to get them to get Shamea for some years. Like, it would have been perfect for me if she would have been there while I was there.
Right.
But even after I left, I said, hey guys, she has it all. She has, big family. She has a big personality. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, she's been here. Like, why won't y'all, put her on the show? And so for a while, they went back and forth. And last year, she is married, so they had to kind of convince her husband.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm telling you, keep asking, keep, pushing, like, figure it out.
And like I said, Porsha can't even use the whole blind loyalty, like, I got you on this show, so I expect blind loyalty from Shamea, when in fact we know it was Candy, and Shamea confirmed that. So I'm wondering what type of expectations that Porsha had for Shamea. Was it you two going to be like you and us against the world, or against the cast, kind of like Robin and Giselle from Real Housewives of Potomac? Or yeah, that's the only thing I can think about, like the expectations that she expected for Shamea to have her back no matter what. Like, no matter what. So I'm just wondering, and I'm wondering when the shift happened, because I do remember that clip of Shamea, Cynthia, Porsha, and Phaedra like twerking under the waterfall when they were on their cash trip. I don't remember which Caribbean island they were at. And I'm like, they seem to be cool right there. So maybe they fell out after the cash trip. But I'm just wondering, what expectations did she truly have for Shamea other than like blind loyalty? So, moving away from Porsha for a minute because she does have a comment about Drew that I want to play for you guys, but I got like a Drew segment. I want to go over to Shamea. Shamea did an interview with Virtual Reality T, and she was asked several questions kind of similar to what they asked of the Married to Medicine ladies. One of them was, who do you think deserves their peach and who doesn't? And then the other one was, what do you think about Phaedra? And then another question was like, who do you think needs a makeover? So let me play the first clip.
In a splash. Which two earned their peach, and which one do you feel was a reach?
Kelly definitely earned her peach.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Britt is a reach.
Okay.
For sure.
Stretch for another treat. Let's go.
Okay.
So it's safe to say Shamea don't like that lady. She definitely does not like Miss Britt, okay? And it seems like Kelly don't like her either. But I'm wondering if what Shamea said truly happened. Shamea did an interview with Bryce Sanders and basically said that Britt said something about her daughter Shiloh, the one with the health complications. And I'm like, did she really say something about your child, or did she make a comment or chastise you or judge you for a parenting decision that you made as it pertains to your child? Because that's two totally different things. There's talking about a kid and then talking about you as a parent. And I do hope that they don't chop and screw anything or edit anything out. I want to see the fallout between the two of them, because it definitely seemed like Britt and Shamea and Kelly were all cool. Like, they were so happy to see each other in the first episode, taking drinks, taking shots. Like, it seemed like they have a good time together. So it must have been something really drastic, like what Shamea is saying that happened, for her to, like, every time somebody asked her about that lady, she let it be known she don't see her for it. But I really hope we get to see it. So the next question that was asked was about Miss Phaedra Parks. And Phaedra is saying that she was brought back to Atlanta to help the ratings. So let me play that clip for you.
Phaedra has implied that she swooped in to save the season of Atlanta. Do you think do you think season 16 could have survived without her?
Sweet 16 did survive. She did not come in until the end of the season, and as I'm sure you've seen, those ratings on episode 1 were
pretty good. And can we just say, you were the star of the premiere, Shamea.
Thank you.
You are the great connector amongst all these women. You are the best friend of
well,
Atlanta.
I'm in Atlanta. You know, I'm in Atlanta. I've been there my entire life, and I'm everybody's best friend. So I'm honored to have been able to take on that.
I'm with Shamea. The season was basically and practically done by the time Phaedra got around. You know, like, girl, you're only filming the last 2 weeks of the show. Woo. Like, what are you about to bring? Other than I'm hearing that you're supposed to be having issues with Drew, but I'm like, girl, you only gonna be there for 2 weeks. On top of that, like, legit, I'm just like, I'm mad at the people that make Phaedra feel like she's some like force multiplier and she's like this reality TV gold, because to me, she's reality TV bronze. Like, are there really great moments of Phaedra? Yeah, but like, I can count all of them. And some of them, when you go back and look at them, they're not as good as what they used to be. Like, I can go back and look at Nene's great moments and still get a laugh out of them and still be weak and dying. I go back and look at Phaedra's. I'm like, okay, I don't know about that. That didn't age well. You know what I mean? So I just hate that she thinks she is something that she's not. Because even when she was like, have you checked the ratings? Girl, if you check the ratings for Married to Medicine, because that's always what she refers to, the ratings actually went down. They didn't go up on season 10. And then season 11, they basically went back to what they were. And then when she left, they actually increased. So you're not really that. You know what I mean? And what are we about to see of her? Like, what is she about to do? That's why the whole, like, I'm swooping in to save people doesn't work for me when it comes to Phaedra. It just doesn't. But moving on, the last question in this video that Shamea was asked was, which one of her castmates needs a makeover?
You're so excited about this question already.
Yes.
So I wonder if you're excited to answer. Who on the cast needs the biggest style makeover?
Oh, I would have to go with Angela.
Oh,
okay.
I would have to go with Angela.
Would she be receptive to that?
Of course, of course. I mean, some would say it's me.
Okay.
You know, but I would have to say it would be Angela, from the wig lifting.
Talk about glue in this heat, melting.
Yeah, what's the name? You need to go to the restroom, check out your hair.
That's not
it's popping. You need to go look at it.
To
Why are you're touching the nose?
Because that wasn't the nose that she was born with.
Okay.
If it was the nose she was born with, then I wouldn't talk about it. But since she bought it, it's like you made a bad purchase. You should return that one, get a new one that fits.
Okay.
And I think she's open to that. We laugh about it at this point.
The Better Business Bureau.
Yeah. Refund. And then I would say, you know, some of her outfit choices, not even necessarily the outfit itself, but it just didn't fit properly.
So it's safe to say that Shamea and Angela might still got a little underlining tension or beef. Okay. Let's talk about this. I don't know if I can say that Angela has bad style yet, but definitely what Shamea had on in this outfit was not eaten. This creamsicle ice cream, like you got on pink and yellow, and then the makeup, no ma'am. Shamea makes questionable fashion choices. We know that. We know Shamea needs to get a stylist, okay? Because she's a very pretty lady, but like some outfits, I'm like, you doing a little too much. Just like you need to, it's like what Coco Chanel said, you know, take one thing off before you leave the house. At least I think that was Coco Chanel. I feel like that was, okay? So her talking about Angela's nose, it don't fit her face. Like Angela definitely has the Jackson, like Janet Jackson nose, where it's like, girl, that's not it. That's not, And the issue is y'all be going to doctors that don't know how to do ethnic noses. And I learned this from watching Botch. Shouts out to Dr. Terry and is it Paul, Dr. Paul, because he's the one that always does the like refixing the nose jobs. He fixed New York's nose and he fixed Dwight's nose. And he always talks about how a lot of doctors always do like a standard nose. And it's normally a standard nose for a white face, not a standard nose for like other ethnicities. And the way that he fixed Dwight and New York's noses, I was like, see, you got to go to people that know how to do noses that fit somebody's facial features. Y'all got to stop going to these other doctors. But like I said, it definitely feels like there ain't no love lost between the two of them, okay? So let's talk about the taglines. They released them on Thursday, and honestly, they were very mid. Like, I wasn't wowed by any of them. Some of them were cute. I actually really liked Britt Eady's. You know, I got flamed up for that. I said that on Twitter, and they were like, girl, why? And I was like, I like that it rhymes. And they were like, okay, Dr. Seuss. Everybody thought it was real remedial, but I thought it was a cute tagline. I like that it rhymes. And they was like, Leah, for real? But let's get into them, okay? So Britt goes, I'm pretty and paid. Of course, there's haters trying to shade. I like that. I thought it was cute. I mean, I was like, okay, I'm pretty and paid. Of course, there's haters trying to shade. I like it. And I will not be shamed, okay? So let's talk about Porsha. Porsha's was, I snatched my peach back. Now I'm bringing the juice. I don't get what she means by snatching her peach back, because that would imply that her peach was taken away, and it never was. She willingly gave up the peach to marry a scammer. You quit all of your good jobs to marry a scammer. I don't know if you're trying to snatch back your dignity and pride, would have been a better tagline. And shouts out to the Twitter page called Roa Ren. They noticed the similarities to Porsha's tagline as to Marlo's first tagline for season 14, and they put the clips together. So let me play that for you.
I always had the juice, but now I got the peach.
I snatched my peach back. Now I'm bringing the juice.
And then somebody commented to the post by saying she out here snatching husbands and taglines. And when I tell you I screamed, I said, now we out here snatching husbands and taglines. I said, a mess. But they are pretty similar, because Porsha's goes again, I snatched my peach back. Now I'm bringing the juice. And then Marlo's is, I've always had the juice, but now I've got the peach. And I like Marlo's more than Porsha's. because I feel like Marlo's just hits a little bit better. Like, I've always had the juice, but now I got the peach. Like, I'm just, you adding more to your zhuzh. Like, girl, I've been that girl kind of energy. I like that, okay? So next is Kelly's. I didn't really like hers. I felt like it was too wordy. And also I feel like it didn't really give her personality. Like, we know Kelly loves to be a mom and she loves her children, but I feel like she's spunky. So I was expecting like a really spunky, spicy, fiery tagline. But it says this: I'm a mother of 4 girls. Give me attitude and I'll ground you too. Like, we know she a mother, but I feel like she needed more oomph to it. And again, I just feel like it's too wordy, and Kelly seems like she brings the spice and the heat. I would have loved to play off of her being like the waffle queen or something like that. Like, what it was like, maybe she could have said, I'm short and fiery, I'll burn you like a waffle iron. I don't know. Or, get on my bad side and I'll burn you like a waffle iron or something. I don't know. I just feel like something other than implying like her being a mother, like that's the only trait she has, when we know she cares about other things. And we've seen her first episode out the gate was not afraid to say anything to Porsha. So I'm just like, the tagline should have been spicier, But I also know from what Melissa Gorga said from Real Housewives of New Jersey, she basically says that they get a bunch of taglines, they read off of all of them, and then ultimately, like, you do have a say in what you would like for like to pick, but it boils down to what the network wants to put out there, basically. But I feel like they've had to have better taglines for her. Next season, I'm gonna need y'all to give Kelly a better tagline, something fiery, okay? So moving on from Kelly, let's talk about Shamea's. Shamea's goes, +1, honey, I've always been that one. Girl, you have definitely been a +1, so I don't know why there was a question mark in front of that. You have definitely been a +1, but this is your season to step out of that, and I hope you do. So far, you ain't really done that yet, but seeing is that you and Porsha may have not be close, you probably are going to step out of it, and I'm ready to see that, Miss Shamea. So then let's do Drew's. Drew's goes, I've always been upper level. Everyone else is in the basement. That was a dig to Ralph. It's kind of cute. And then lastly, we have Miss Angela Oakley. I also liked hers, where it was, if you want to find the shade, just look for the oak. Now, I'm sick of her in this Oakley thing. I hope that's not her character trait of like her personality this whole entire season. I'm an Oakley. I'm Angela Oakley. Like, because I don't care. I need more from you, Angela. But I do like the play on her last name. So that was the taglines. Let's run through them one more time. You got Porsha's, I snatched my peach back and now I'm bringing the juice. Britt Edie's, I'm pretty and paid. And of course, there's haters trying to shade. You have Angela Oakley's, if you want to find the shade, just look for the oak. You have Kelly's, I'm a mother of 4 girls, give me attitude and I'll ground you too. Then you have Shamea, +1, honey, I've always been that one. And then finally you have Drew's. She's like, I'll always be upper level. Everyone else is in the basement. So those are your taglines. Let me know which one was your favorite or if you liked any of them at all. So let's talk about Drew. We have a Drew segment because there's a good amount to talk about as it pertains to her. So like I said, when we were talking about Shamea and Porsha's relationship, and she did that live where she pretty much confirmed what Candy said about them not being close. She also talked about Drew. So basically it says, Porsha says because people didn't want Drew back on the show, she had her ready-made storyline with Dennis to stay on the show. So let me play that video for you guys.
Drew, you know what, Drew? I don't know. Y'all know Drew. I think Drew, a lot of y'all didn't want Drew back on the show. So I think coming into this season, she had her ready-made storyline with Baby Daddy, and they knew I would react because who wouldn't? I mean, you know what I'm saying? So if somebody's doing something behind your back, like trying to film behind your back or whatever, you're going to have something to say. I mean, if I was filming with Ralph and she found out, she would be like, wait a minute, why didn't you just give me a heads up? So yes, if we're doing business together, she works for me with Go Naked. I just expect a courtesy call that you're going to start a whole nother storyline of filming with Dennis. If you're going to do a photo shoot that's beyond content online, if you're going to do a campaign shoot for Go Naked, you should tell the owner of the company. So, yeah, but you know, Drew just does what she thinks she got to do to stay on the show. So I don't know. I'm not mad at her no more. Cause it is what it is. It's like, okay, girl, you know what I mean? Like, I saw her the other day and it's like, hey girl, like, you look good. You look so pretty. And like, that's that. Porsha, Drew is gonna be Drew. Yeah, Drew gonna be Drew. Let Drew be Drew. Support her music. You know, shout out to Drew's new album. I think she got an album and a song out. Shout out to Shamea, and her single. Y'all go pick up these girls, music.
So I agree with Porsha. Drew does have a ready-made storyline. I told y'all I felt like her storyline was manufactured in my review, but I'm not going to fault her for that. That's the point of this show, is to have something to give to us. I think Drew is smart enough to see beyond, or have the foresight enough to know that a divorce storyline was going to get old with 4 people going through divorces. Kenya's going through one still. Kelly's going through one. Porsha and Drew. That would have been too much of the same old, same old. So I do think her saying, you know what, I'm falling back on, you know, we're going to do this music thing. That's going to be my backup plan in conjunction with me getting a divorce was smart. Same with Kelly. Kelly's getting a divorce and now we have her doing a restaurant renovation. And if Kenya would have stayed before getting phased out, I think her storyline would have been the divorce, but also opening up her hair salon and maybe the day-to-day ins and outs of her running the hair salon. And now with Porsha, what does Porsha have other than the divorce storyline? Because Porsha was coming on to this show as being Miss Porsha Gubadia, not Porsha Williams, you know, Miss Porsha Gubadia. So now that's all she has. And that's probably going to get old real quick for us because I think she has nowhere to film other than Decatur at her mama house. What else does Porsha have going on? So I think that's why she's upset more than anything. I do think it's like, you know, her filming behind her back, but I think it's also more so, girl, I don't really have nothing else going on than Dennis, and I don't like you swooping in onto my other storyline, you know, my fallback, my backup. You know what I mean? When it comes to Go Naked, I also understand what she means by like, girl, if you're doing like just posting pictures on Instagram, that's one thing. Doing a full on campaign photo shoot, that's another thing. Like, you know, you should have came and talked to me, created a proposal. And if anything, Drew should have told Porsha like, hey, I want to do this campaign. Maybe we should work on it together. And that would have been dual scenes for both of y'all. But I guess neither Porsha or Drew wanted that for each other. But moving on for Porsha and, well, continuing on with Porsha and Drew, there is this clip going around of Porsha doing a live while she's at Dish Nation. So I guess she got that job back. And she's speaking to Gary, who does Gary with the T and the Brat. And they're asking her about the whole Drew situation. And basically she is explaining why she felt the need to break the fourth wall. Something happened to where she said Drew did something, but we don't get to hear that because she ends up muting her phone. But she says that her best friend Johnny told her that Dennis was going to Chicago to film with Drew. And so that's when she was like, something like her ears kind of perked up. She also said that she thought that Drew and her were going to be like, you know, friends, because she was like, Drew was really campaigning for her to come back to the show. Now, I'm going to play the clip. I don't know if it's going to get copywritten or part of it is going to get copywritten because they start playing music in the background. And so if part of the clip goes mute, that means the copywritten machine got me and I had to take it out and re-upload the video. But fingers crossed, it doesn't happen.
That wasn't even supposed to happen. Literally right before we filmed that, my best friend, Johnny, called me and told me that he was going to go to Chicago. The whole show was supposed to go to Chicago. And he was like, did you know that Drew is flying, is Dennis coming in to film? I said, huh? So I had just found that out. So that's why the whole time. She said she told you she didn't. She did not. So that's why the whole time I was like, oh. While she was talking, they were talking about dating. I was like, I don't care. But then what you didn't see is she
out of the timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare.
I was like, well, we'll break up our wall. But like,
Call
now we need to
go. 800-511-2112. That's 800-511-2112. 800-511-2112.
Right. So then I was like, well, the only way I can really now I'm going. Now we got to break up a wall. Yeah. What? Yeah, I don't understand.
Y'all, YouTube got me. So the rest of this, I'm gonna just have to paraphrase, okay? So basically, Porsha is telling them that like her and Drew were friendly. They weren't really like friends, but they were growing into that because she felt sorry for Drew. She felt like Drew got the same treatment she got her earlier seasons where she was getting picked on. And so she basically was like, I was trying to be there and have her back. On top of that, she was like, Drew kept telling me that she wanted me to be back on the show. So she was like, oh, I thought I was coming back to like someone being my new little friend, but that's not the case. Like that, like she pretty much switched up on me. So then Gary ends up asking Porsha, like, so are you and Shamea good? That's all I want to know. And she basically says, I mean, I won't know yet until the show plays out. Like, we got to go to the reunion together. We have to see the show play out. I don't know what she's saying in her confessional. She don't know what I'm saying in my confessionals. And then she cuts off the live. I should have known YouTube was going to get me. But this is interesting to me because it makes me wonder, like, if Porsha is truly telling the truth and what did happen upstairs for her to feel the need to break the fourth wall. Like, was Drew saying something else, or was Porsha just feeling like Drew was playing in her face too much, you know? Because that means that more happened in that scene than what we saw, which that always happens, you know? But if she is telling the truth that she found out that they were filming scenes when, you know, her friend told her, like, bro, we going to Chicago and Dennis is going there too. And I wonder if Johnny is like a producer or maybe like a makeup artist or a hairstylist or something. But that is kind of underhanded if Porsha is telling the truth, because Porsha has a funny relationship with the truth, just like Drew. So continuing, well, you know what? Let's get the bad out the way, and so we can end Drew's segment with a positive. So Ralph's peanut-headed self came out, and now he has a podcast. I think it's called like In the Basement or something. So this was posted. It says Ralph is standing on business when it comes to Drew. So let me play the clip.
I sat down with her and I was like, listen, you know, look, based on everything that's going on, you know, I think we should go our separate ways. I think, you know, we fit there. Yo, look, if they come down, everybody got free reign because she's not allowed to be down here. So if she come down these steps, I'm going to the courts. You know what I'm saying? Y'all putting it right in the app. Hey, Drew violated the order. Look, it's not a game out here. You know what I'm saying? It's not a game. I'm standing on business. Here, you know? Let me drink to that.
He's such a cornball. Like, he's such a loser. Nothing about Ralph is attractive. His first season, like with Drew, their first season, I was like, this is a lame couple. They are so corny. He's so corny. He's just a cornball. I'm standing on business. Let me drink to that. And I bet you that's not even like whiskey or bourbon or brandy in his cup. I bet you it's Coca-Cola and he trying to be hard. He don't even give that he drink brandy, whiskey, or bourbon. He gives that's not even black rum. And I love me some black rum. But he drink wine coolers. Ralph does not give me he a bourbon type of man. He's not of that caliber. I can't. Ralph also decided to hop on Instagram after posting his advertisement for Ralph in the Basement. He wanted to clear up what he felt like were false allegations or false rumors against him that Drew is spreading on Real Housewives of Atlanta about him wanting child support and alimony. So it goes on to say, Ralph said he did not request child support or alimony from Drew Sidora. However, he was ordered to continue paying for the home and the vehicles. So it says this: since Drew publicized sensitive and disparaging information surrounding our divorce on our HOA, I need to provide facts and complete details, as the blogs are now spreading false and incomplete information. So number one, the judge ordered that I move Move to the basement due to false allegations. Number 2, the judge ordered that I continue to pay all costs associated with the home and all vehicles, which I've paid over for 10 years. Number 3, the judge ordered that Drew has temporary primary custody of the kids. Number 4, I have no idea where the asinine request for child support or alimony came from. It's not true, and you can't believe everything you hear. Number 5, the reason I am in the house is because my kids mean the world to me and I refuse to lose access to them like many other dads. Right now, I can see them every day. If I left, I can only see them every other weekend. Number 6, as detailed in our 2-year divorce are being made public, I am taking the liberty to support men and families as they navigate unfortunate circumstances via my YouTube channel. I've learned a lot throughout this journey and sharing my experiences. Subscribe as it will be available and entertaining. No, subscribe as it will be valuable and entertaining. Lastly, I do not have any animosity towards Drew. I'm still taking care of her, my family, and I have taken care of her family for over our 10-year marriage, regardless if she acknowledges or not. Put some respect on my name. And so then he captioned this as, stop thinking everything you hear is true. By the end of this, people will owe me an apology, and I want it by Monday. And then a commenter says, why do you want her to pay your child support? You are a whole able-bodied man. And he responded by saying, she made that up. Don't believe everything you hear. Honestly, because Drew lied and Ralph lies too, because where were you in Tampa? What were you doing in Tampa, Ralph? What were you doing? I don't know who is telling the truth. To be honest, I don't have a dog in this fight, and I don't particularly care for either Drew or Ralph. So it is what it is at this point. But I do think it's very calculated for him to come on the internet on Friday because he knew the album was coming out on Friday. And that's messed up because she said all of this on Sunday's episode. You could have given us all of this on Monday, but you specifically waited till Friday because you were hoping that if her album was trash, you could use the bad press for your YouTube channel. And if it was good, you were going to use the good press for your YouTube channel. Just cornball, lame behavior. Okay? Lame behavior. But let's talk about the album. It was actually decent. Okay, I would give it a solid 6 out of 10. It was a solid body of work. I was like, okay, Miss Drew. And y'all, the hot dog man is really a producer. Dennis really produced. I said, okay. Now, I'm going to be honest. I was not going to give Drew a chance. I wasn't. Until I was on Instagram and it was the diva. Shouts out to Erica De Niro. She was playing the song on one of her videos that she was dancing to, and the song's called I Got 5 on it. And I was like, oh, this is cute. So I was like, let me slide. Well, that's not true. Okay, that's not true. I saw somebody on Twitter talking about it. And I was like, oh yeah, I did like that song. I Got 5 on it. And I was like, okay, because I like the sample. I got 5 on it. And then she had the sample and she was singing with it. And I was like, okay, Drew. So then while I was doing stuff yesterday, mainly while I was doing my hair, I went and listened to Drew's album and I said, oh my gosh, this is actually really good. Like, it's decent. Like, I would give it a 6 out of 10, like a solid 6 out of 10. Like, this is a solid album. I said, come on, Miss Drew Sidora. Come on, Miss Drew Sidora. I said, Dennis, the hot dog man, is really a producer. Like, that man is really a producer. I said, for this to be Drew's first album, this is a solid first album, like a solid first album. I was like, I would give this a 6. I was like, come on. And I don't even see it for Drew, but I was actually proud listening to the music. Now, I will say, I do think it's dated, and that's not supposed to be shade. It reminds me of the early 2000s. Like, when I was listening to her album, I was like, one of these songs, and I think it was Delulu, or I don't think it was Single Again. It was either Delulu or I Did It to Me, but it reminded me of LaToya Luckett's Torn. And if you don't know the song, torn in between the two, because I really want to be with you. Like, That's all I was thinking about. And then I even went and listened to the music video on YouTube, and I was like, yes. And I was just like, that is what Drew's album reminds me of, the early 2000s. And then I was trying to figure out when Torn came out, and I went to Wikipedia, and I think it said 2005. And so then Tierra Marie popped in my head, and I said, when did Tierra Marie debut? Because I was like, I could definitely see her singing some of these songs. And I think she came out, I think it said like 2006, 2005. And then I thought about Anne Marie. Is this one thing that got me tripping? Is this one thing your boy made me feel? I think that song came out in like 2006, 2007, maybe 2004. But the early 2000s, I feel like this album would have ate down. Okay, it's still a good album, but like I said, it sounded dated to me. But I am really happy for Drew. There were a few songs where I was like, we need to work on the writing. Some of these lyrics, they not flowing for me. And there was a few songs that I wanted Drew to like belt out the notes. Like, that's the thing. Like, I am a pop girly, okay? I like pop girls. I do like me a little bit of R&B, but if you gonna give me R&B, I need you to give me R&B. I need you to belt out a ballad. Like Jasmine Sullivan, I love me some K. Michelle, Beyonce. And y'all be trying to act like Beyonce don't be, she sings ballads, okay? Jennifer Hudson, Miss Screamer for herself, Miss Screamer for Hudson. Some of her songs I get down to. Victoria Monet. Like, I need you to really give it to me when you sing a ballad. And some of the songs Drew wasn't giving it to me, okay? But I definitely feel like if she still practices and hones her craft, she gonna give us a solid second album. And when I tell you I'm impressed, between her and Candace Diller Bassett from Real Housewives of Potomac, these two are the two women I tip my hat to, because they both said they wanted to do music and they both released albums. When Candace was on Real Housewives of Potomac, she gave us Deep Space. Okay, she was out here touring with Deep Space. Now we have Drew with I Did It To Me. I think that's the name of the album. Yes, I Did It To Me. And now she's probably about to be out here touring and doing that. Like, they use this platform for what it was supposed to be used for, which is elevation. Elevate yourself. Okay, so shouts out to you, Drew, and Dennis. Still can't believe Dennis is really a producer. All right, y'all. So the last thing we're going to talk about is Miss Angela. Okay, so Angela was on Angela Yee's radio show called Way Up with Angela. And it basically says this. Angela talks about joining hashtag RHOA, Porsha and Shamea's friendship, and Kenya and Britt Eady's incident. She ain't really talk about their friendship. She basically called Shamea a lapdog after Angela Yee said, do you still feel that way about her? So let me play that clip for you.
That Shamea is Porsha's lapdog.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Do you still feel that way now?
Do.
Okay.
I do. And I felt that way then because Drew took a lot of heat in that first episode. And I was just helpless because I was like, I can't take on anybody with my wig. Like I had a choice to make.
I didn't get too much camera time.
Get the camera off me. And Drew, I'm sending smoke signals like, I'm with you, but I just can't say anything. I just felt like, she was a bit double teamed. So,
It's interesting because I made it a topic. When Shamea was up here, I also was like, if I'm friends with somebody and I think the way that it was portrayed, because like I said, I know there's a lot that goes on that we don't see. It made it seem like Drew did it in a sneakier kind of way. Because I can't tell if she did tell Porsha ahead of time or didn't. Like, it's not really clear.
So my understanding, Porsha was aware they were working together. Dennis invited her to her birthday party. Porsha was aware. When she was aware, I don't know. When she became aware, I'm not familiar with that. I don't know when exactly, but she knew. So it wasn't like, and then she kept kicking the can down. I was like, okay, so what are you mad about? Are you mad about her working with Dennis? Are you mad about this photo shoot? I was just lost.
Right.
And my wig was like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So I checked out.
I have my own problems happening right now.
Yo, can we do this another day? Yeah, I checked out at that.
Now, who surprised you the most once you joined the show? Like, as far as, I thought this person was going to be cool, but...
All of the ladies were good, but based on the first few episodes, I thought Shamea would be cool. I thought she would be, my person. She's a Taurus. I thought her and I would immediately hit it off.
Okay. I mean, it could also be because you are close with Drew, because people do have alliances
Yeah, but I don't move like that. I don't not like you because that person doesn't like you. I give you a chance for myself because it could be a misunderstanding between those people. So,
like I said, when I did the segment of Shamea's interview with Virtual Reality T, it's definitely given that there's tension or beefage between Angela and Shamea still. And it's interesting that Angela thought she would bond with Shamea or had those expectations that they would be cool. But I guess I would understand since Shamea says she's everybody's best friend. But also, Angela, it was not given that you were sending smoke signals or trying to show Drew that you was there for her. Them facial expressions and you being like, Drew, that don't sound right, was given definitely you was looking at your friend like, what have you done? But I also understand not wanting to argue with somebody because the first thing they gonna say is, girl, fix your lace before you talk to me. And you already let it be known that it was lifted. But it is interesting, and I do slightly feel bad for Shamea, but she did it to herself. But she's gonna always have to combat the lapdog narrative. Like, you did that picture and you went beyond what a friend is supposed to do. You turned into somebody's lackey and minion after they did you wrong. So now it's up to you to disprove all the people that feel like you're only on this show because of Porsha, or you're only here to be Porsha's lapdog, her buddy. So I wonder if Angela's perception of Shamea will change as the season continues, since we do know now that Shamea and Porsha aren't down for each other like that. Like, they aren't as close anymore. So I wonder when it gets to the reunion if Angela's opinion of Shamea being Porsha's lapdog will change. So the next question was about the Kenya and Britt Edie situation. So let me pull that clip up.
Their situation with the, the pictures and all of that. And I feel like people are hinting that it's not what we thought it was originally, that went viral. And people were kind of dragging Kenya for what she did, but it feels like the tides might turn a little.
I can't wait to see how that plays out, because I feel like I want both of them to be vindicated in their own way. I want Kenya to be vindicated in her reasoning, and I want Britt to be vindicated in, her reasoning. I hope that both of them get the vindication that they deserve, because it was a lot. It was a lot, and you guys will see. It was just a lot for us watching, so I didn't have to, experience the embarrassment, but,
So this response from Angela was kind of weird to me. And the reason why I say that is it seems like she's not trying to pick a side, because to say that you hope that both parties are vindicated means that somebody still is going to have to suffer, or somebody is like, because if Kenya is vindicated in her actions, Britt is going to have to suffer the humiliation tenfold again. And if Britt is vindicated, then Kenya is going to have to suffer the backlash tenfold again. So it's like, why are you in the middle? Even though you said that it was a lot. So that makes me feel like Angela kind of understands why Kenya did what she did, but still felt like it went too far. Because I feel like if she was on Britt's side, she would have been like, well, even though Britt said what she said, it was still too much. But to say that you hope they both get vindication is kind of weird to me. And the last thing is, would she return for another season, or how does she feel about this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Are you done filming for the season?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Based off of this season, would you be willing to come back for another one?
I need to see the episode. Like, what did I do? Oh my goodness. I thought this was going to be kumbaya. As humans, we feel like, we feel like it might have been bad for them, but I can take it. We always feel like we're stronger than the next person. Oh my goodness.
I feel like you are so sweet. Just hearing everything that you're saying, and then you got thrust into this, not because some people know what to expect. They've been doing this, and they're able to.
There's levels. I feel like season 16 is a whole new level.
Yeah.
It's nothing you've seen before. It's so intense, and I feel like it's raw. It's authentic. Nothing is fake. This is our first time on camera as a group. So what you see is what you get, and it's real. It's real. I was mad that it was real. I'm like, no, I know we was good. Pull out a cue card or something. Like, you want my real life? Yeah. So that's how it went.
What I will say is she is right about people feeling like they're strong enough to do reality TV, but we've seen time and time again that that's not the case with everybody. People will get overwhelmed, worked up, angry so quickly, and be taken aback by how they are portrayed on the show or how things come off or how fans respond to things. And I get her part being like, well, I thought this is real. I thought this was going to be fake. But it's called scripted reality. This is your reality, but like you have a producer that tells you this is a story that we're going to tell with your life, or is this the story you want to tell? Like, don't talk about this here. Wait till this person comes here. Oh, we'll talk about this because y'all been talking about this for too long. Like, they lead you to certain places during the filming process, but we know most of the time the things that we see are really happening, you know? So I do understand her being like overwhelmed at the fact that like it's more raw than what she expected. And she is telling the truth that this is a group that we've never seen before. Now, her thinking about like this is something that we've never seen and it's so raw, we'll be the judge of that, Miss Angela, because y'all say that and then give us redundancy and stupidity. But I think Angela is a good fit. At first, I wasn't sure. I felt like Angela was going to be like Cynthia and her husband was going to be like Peter Thomas. But it seems like Angela has the smoke and the spice. Like, she not afraid to argue with somebody. So I'm definitely looking forward to like what she has to offer this season. Okay, so but that's all I got for you guys. As always, remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely get down in the comments and give me your opinion. And thank you for listening and watching. Remember to like and subscribe. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.